It is Wednesday, March 26th. Come on, man. We're already through, almost through Q1 of 2025. How is that even possible? It is 1:07 p.m. here in the farm fields of Valparaiso, Indiana, and wasn't around yesterday, at least on the YouTube, but I was around here. Let me move my head just for a minute. Hey, look at that. How high. I did go on an adventure yesterday with Boyle. Boyle is a 2 times directional leveraged ETF on natural gas. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. Natural gas is very volatile, it is violent on its own. When you add some fuel to it, no pun intended, with a 2 times directional like Boyle, it's like that meme of like a little monkey with a hat on riding a dog like a rodeo. He's trying to hang on for dear life. That's what it's like. And you can see it here in real time from yesterday when I thought I had it nailed. I'd been watching natural gas for about a week and a half straight. And I thought, I think we're at a bottom. So I bought 500 shares of Boyle at 77.24, only to watch it go down. So I'm like, hey, I'll get 500 more. It's on sale at 76.98. Wait a minute, still going down. It's a bigger sale. 76.82, 76.44. Then I took a breather, went to the gym, and I'm like, you got to be kidding. Without a stop loss, because and again, this is not advice at all, as you know. This is barely entertainment. I should have had a stop loss on and I would have been stopped out. However, I like to give these leveraged ETFs a little room to breathe to see, am I right or am I wrong on this? And, and I've certainly been wrong a lot. And so I looked again. I'm like, what in the world? All right, fine. I'll go, because my plan was to just have 2,000 shares was going to be my max. And I added another 500 at 73.90. That was like a Kmart blue light special I was hoping, and indeed it turned out to be, but that gave me a cost basis of 76.28. We'll move my head back here as I just want to go to the charts to show you kind of what went on next. And this was yesterday. So let's just go through the rest of these real quick. Silver is holding up very well, very resilient. And I mentioned it on Monday that I was going to go into, or I was stocking a trade on AGQ, which is a 2 times directional in silver. And it was like in the 42.60s, didn't pull the trigger, and immediately went up after that. So I missed that trade, but that's all right. There's always going to be another trade. Same with GLD, holding up great. GDX, looks like we got the 4. Is there still more? I just, for some reason, feel like there's still more of the 4. And it dipped into it, what would definitely qualify, which then would leave us, hey, I guess the 5 is next. But the kind of the trading gut is telling me there might be one more in there, but it could be over. We'll find out. We'll be watching it. Bitcoin, I've been stocking a trade on it today. And like if I was a scalper, I would have been making money all day, because watch this thing. It won't go up much higher than this right now at the moment. Now, of course, as I say, this could be the breakout or the breakdown, but I've been watching this on and off all day, and it's just bouncing right between these numbers, as you can see, and it might be even getting a little tighter. So like right now, what I would do if it got into the 86 high 4s, put on a trade with BitX. Yeah, and I should have done it earlier. I'll keep watching it, but 86 high 4s is what I'd be looking to get in a trade on the Bitcoin into the BitX, which is 2 times directional on Bitcoin, and keeping it going. So we'll come back to that in case we get there while we're live. We'll do it live, but this won't go up much higher. This won't even reach 87,000 before it turns back down. That's what I'm saying, and I'm sticking to it. SPY having a little interesting day. Got a nice big gap on Monday, and then it's just been what I would say is we're trying to roll over here. Is that it? I think we're still going here, but it's just the action has been very interesting, and I've been saying it for like at least a month, 6 weeks or so. The market's just been acting very strange, which is the reason that I'm in mostly all cash. Whoa, see, look at that. Look at that healthy drop. Catching a little green here. Maybe, maybe not. This is S&P futures, the E-minis, as they call it. The Qs, we got right into it. Haven't got right into the box, didn't we? Right there. But is that all? I don't know. Is that all? We will keep watching. Futures, we did take that out and we've stayed well above it, which I thought was our, I think our 4 is in, at least for now it is. But at what point do you go up to the 5? TLT, been stalking that all day. Thought I missed it because I was looking at it again right before I hit record. And maybe not. So I'll keep watching that. And this is, I talked about this on Monday. I think it had more to go because we were here. Well, that's where we originally had our 4, and it just didn't get into the box. And I thought for sure it'd get into the box. It has gotten into the box now, but is that all? Is that all? TLT's been just a tricky little minx. Is that a word? Tricky little vixen lately, but I think there's a trade brewing there. Oil, I was watching and then I missed it. Is it going to give it back? I don't know. So I'm watching oil as well. So I do have some trades on the radar: Bitcoin, oil, TLT, and then, as you know, the natural gas that I did buy 2,500 shares of Boyle. And I've got it for viewing pleasure, my line in here, and you see some wild action because that's what it does. There is the natural gas ETF UN and the G. And then this is what I am in. Boyle is next. Are you ready for this? Whoa. So I lucked out. I've literally lucked out. I sold today, and I was stopped out. When it shot up right through here, I put the stop loss at 78.21, and then within seconds it rolled over and stopped me out. And look what it's done since then. I got so lucky. It's very lucky. Sometimes the harder you work, the luckier you get. So let's go back here and see what that looks like. Drum roll, please. And there it is. We did have a nice little tidy net realized gain of $4,835 in one day. And that's great. That sounds great. And it is great. But on the way down, I was down when it was going downtown to Chinatown. I was down within hours, like $5,500. And then it's made a complete turnaround and did print me a nice profit today. So back to cash. But there we are, up $5,000 a day, even though we are now all cash again. And all set up for the continuation of March Madness. And I'm almost caught up. Still, I think I have 2 games left. But I've been so strategic, and I've done it this way for years, where I will watch live sports recorded and do everything I can in my power. And I got a lot of little tricks up my sleeve as to not to find out what the scores are ahead of time. Yes, do things get ruined? Yes, they do. But for the most part, I'm able to do so. I still have 2 games to go. But then I'll be all caught up for the action to resume tomorrow. But guess what else is going to resume? That's going to be Major League Baseball. So we did have 2 games in Japan. My Cubs against the Dodgers. That was like an unofficial start to the season because those games did count. So the real opening day will be tomorrow, and I'm excited. Tomorrow. And in fact, I keep forgetting to tell you this story. So when we were coming back from Puerto Vallarta in January, I'm in line. I was A1 on Southwest. I told you they do that, surprise me from time to time, and they give me A1, probably because of how much money we run through the Southwest Airlines Visa card. But it's a hack. I mean, our lifestyles cost a little bit more than they probably should, but I try to run everything through two different credit cards, and then we pay them off every single month in full. And that is the Chase Sapphire because it gives great travel rewards and restaurant type of rewards. And then Southwest Visa, we get the points for the flights. And then every year we've been qualifying for a companion pass, which means anywhere I fly, lady flies a lot, flies free. Hello. And we are A-list preferred, which means we get special check-in. And then they surprise me from time to time and they gave me the A1. But when they do it, what's interesting is that Stacy will never be next to me in A2. So they must give some other A member A2. And that's what happened in this regard. I was A1, Stacy was A9. And then I was talking to this guy who was standing next to me at A2, and his wife was A10. So that got us into a conversation. And the next thing you know, he's telling me he's from Crown Point, Indiana. And they had just come back from Costa Rica. And Crown Point is like 15, 20 minutes away from me here in the farm fields of Valparaiso. And then it leads to us talking about the Cubs. And he says him and his family have been season ticket holders for 40 years. And I didn't even ask. He said it. He said, so if you're ever looking for some tickets, let me know. I immediately got my phone out. I said, if you're serious, I am not going to let that go by. Took down his name and phone number, started texting him before the plane even took off. And now he's hooked us up with a couple of games, and it's face value. He sold them to me for face value, 4 tickets per game, and they're behind home plate. And our first one is May 28th. So we're going to, we got a couple of good friends going with us. We're going to stay the night, maybe, do a little bar hopping before and maybe after. And then we're going to stay at the Zachary Hotel, which is right there. It's literally right there at the Wrigley Field. And I think Stacy said that. I don't even know why. I think the reason I tell you the prices of these things is just because I still can't believe that I spend this kind of money on certain things. Like the time I went to Memphis, I think it was called the Butler. Stayed at some crazy hotel there, and it was like $2,000 a night. I don't know. I could stay in a Motel 6, feel the same. But our cost for the Zachary that night, I think, is around $1,000. So that's why she keeps me working, looking at these charts. So that's exciting. Baseball. I love baseball. I love football. I love college basketball. I'm not a big pro fan anymore. It just lost its luster. They're either trying to dunk it or they're throwing up bricks from 3. I just can't watch it. I don't know why what else do I have to tell you about this? See, I'm all excited. One, I'm drinking coffee as we speak. I recommended this mug to you before, but lady got me this a couple of years ago. It's called an Ember. It's a wireless battery operated heated cup. So it keeps my coffee nice and smoking hot for me as long as I want it to. Rechargeable. Stock and trades again, I'll tell you it is TLT, and I'm just watching silver closely because I always do. So Bitcoin, TLT, oil. That's what I'm looking at right now. Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment, share with a level friend. And I just remembered because, this is obviously never scripted. Somebody had asked a great question, which is very much what I would ask as well, which is who do you follow? What do you read? What's, who's out there that influences you or provides you with market information? And there's so many, it's hard for me to start, but here's some that were just up on the board. The McClellan Financial Publications. I was reading this about the Fibonacci retracement phenomenon, and basically this article says it's hocus pocus. So I don't know why I'm reading that, but this is a good. This is a recent subscription. This is paid, but I love the reading of the market. This guy's parents came up with the McClellan oscillator. You've heard of that. His parents created this. So I thought that was pretty cool because he's been in the markets for 40, 50 years. Very educational materials that I like to read. The Elliott Wave Theorist. This is Robert Prechter. He's probably the most legendary Elliott Wave practitioner there is. I enjoy the subscription. This is another paid subscription but I don't follow any of the trades because there's too much. The sky is falling and doom and gloom, and he's been calling, for the last. I've probably been a member of this for a year, and he's been calling for a crash since day one of my membership. So I do read the fundamentals, and it's a great place to learn Elliott wave theory, but I do not subscribe to the idea that the sky is always falling. So I don't follow any of those trades. There's the McClellan oscillator again. Notes from the rabbit hole. This is another paid subscription that I have. I really enjoy this. Um, he puts out a lot of material, so I may read 1 to 2 articles a week, and he puts them out daily. I think he does trades as well, but I don't follow any of his trades. Let's see. Does he do trades? I don't even know. I think when you are following people's trades exactly, then it's just way too influential to prevent you from coming up with your own trade idea, your own convictions. That's what I've learned, and that's um, what also I had another question. I know I answered it in the comments, but what attracted me to gold and silver, and it just became a natural attraction. So then I started being attracted to those that talked about gold and silver, and that's led me to a bunch of these subscriptions and memberships. This is Bravo Cycles. Pretty good stuff. This is a big piece that I just began reading. It's basically saying that the market's overpriced right now, just in general. And so that means gold and silver is going to have a big rip. And I do believe that in both regards. Here's a guy on X that I like, Jesse Colombo. And I was just getting ready to read. He has this post about the mechanics of a silver price suppression. So I'm excited about reading that. Grady Trading. This is another paid subscription. I do enjoy his charts because I like to see how they look compared to my charts. And I never look at his charts before looking at my own. His are a little more fancy. Like, what is he saying here? That looks like a back test on the 2 hour on Bitcoin. Good odds it gets back to the 10-day moving average. So, I mean, he follows a lot of weird stuff too that I don't have any idea what it is. But I do like to look at his, because he does do things that I like: Bitcoin, gold, silver. I mean, he does other things, but he does do those. He does more miners. I got into the miners a lot, but it was too much. There was just too many moving parts with the miners. I did have a short-term swing trade with a couple of them while I was on the Caribbean cruise that I shared with you. But like, here's Royal Gold. I'm sorry. It's something I've traded in the past. Stella's barking. That might be my case of Pedroncelli wine being delivered with some nice fava beans. So I'm excited about that. Who else? Henrik Zeberg. I used to have a subscription to his program, but I stopped. I still will check him out on X. He's got a lot of politics that goes on his posts, his tweets, whatever they're called these days. And I think he is in, he's in Germany? Is he in New Zealand? I don't know where he is. He calls for the sky to fall too often as well, but he's an Elliott wave guy. So that's what first attracted me to him. I still like the idea. I still believe in the idea that we're going to have a rollover soon in the markets. But he's been calling for it for the 2 years I've been following him, and that hasn't happened. Finance a lot. This guy I like. His posts are very good, usually well researched and detailed. Here's one as well. This one is paid. This is Vince Lancy, and you can get basically the same stuff I get, at least the main stuff, on a podcast called Arcadia Economics. He does at least 2-3 times a week. He'll be on there, and I think that's a daily show, Arcadia Economics. It's also YouTube, but I listen to it in the podcast format. I like him a lot. He knows his stuff. He doesn't give exact trade ideas, but he is You can tell he has experience and he's a regular kind of guy. Some of these guys, like the Zeeberg and these guys, they say some wild stuff, I think, just to get attention and just to get reactions and subscribers and all that kind of stuff. Whereas this guy's just straight laced. Vince Lancy is his name. Medium. This just happened to come through my email. I was reading this guy's article about support and resistance from December 4th, 2024. It's just that's all he trades, support and resistance. And it makes sense when you read it in his article. So I look at all kinds of different things and then formulate my own plan from it. And that's where we're at right now. Now I'll let you go after that long-winded share. Like, subscribe, comment, share with a lovable friend, and I will indeed see you in the next video.